Done.
Okay, you got it? All right, let's get started, boys and girls. So I'm going to read in this box with the little piggies in it at the top of page 636. I'm going to read that for us. That part that's highlighted, that's where I'm starting. It says two-dimensional shapes. So that's what we're learning about this chapter. We're going to be learning, or this lesson, we're going to be learning about shapes. It says two-dimensional shapes are flat shapes. They can be open or they can be closed. So you can see that first one is an open shape. This side is open. There's not a line right there. But this one is closed. So you can see the first one, the pig is going to walk right inside, and this one, the pig can't get in because it's a closed square or rectangle.
Mr. Husky,
Yes, I'm Boris.
I'm gonna find it.
Can you ask for help?
Yes.
Ask your sister to help you get to the right page. Squares and rectangles are two-dimensional shapes. They are closed. They have straight sides and vertices. So on a rectangle or on a square,
We have 633.
636, honey.
Oh, 6, 3.
So if you look at a square, I'm going to do this up on the board.
What is that, Mr. Husky?
What, honey?
What the number we're doing?
636. 636. So let's draw a picture of a square up here. Okay? I'm going to draw a big square. This is a square. You can see the square has 1, 2, 3, 4 sides. You needed 4 straight lines to make that square, right? Does everyone see that? See how the square has 4 sides? It also has 1, 2, 3, 4 corners. So a square has 4 sides and 4 corners. Those corners are called vertices. Those corners are called vertices. So today, when you guys are doing your On My Own page, you're going to have to count the sides and the vertices of these shapes. So we see 1, 2, 3, 4 sides and 1, 2, 3, 4 vertices. Vertice is just a really fancy word for corner. It doesn't really mean anything special. What's your question, Wasi?
Which page are we in?
We are on page 636. Okay, so let's look at number 1. On the bottom of page 636, let's look at number 1. Who can raise their hand and tell me how many sides? That shape is a rectangle. How many sides does that rectangle have? Go ahead and count them. How many lines? Count the sides of that rectangle. How many sides are there?
Where?
On number 1, on this shape.
Okay.
How many sides does that rectangle have? I'm going to give everybody a minute. Raise your hand if you think you know it. I'm going to give everybody some extra time. Count the lines that you see. Count those lines that you see. Mabuba, what do you think? How many sides are there, Mabuba? Do you know? 4, yeah. Yeah, look it. 1, 2, 3, 4. I made 4 lines to make that. So on the very first line, on that first line, you can write the number 4. On that first line, you can write the number 4. There are 4 sides. There are 4 sides. So now who can raise their hand, tell me how many vertices does it have? How many corners does it have? How many points are there? or corners. Count the corners on that rectangle. Just like we did here, we circled each corner of the square. Count the corners of that rectangle. Put a dot on each corner as you count, if that helps. How many corners does that rectangle have? Lima, what do you think?
4.
4. Yeah, look it. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 corners. You see that? 4 lines and 4 corners. So you can write 4 on both of those lines. There are 4 sides and 4 vertices, or 4 corners.
Why, Miss Oski?
Why? I don't know. That's just how rectangles and squares are drawn. Good. So now let's take a look at the number 2 right next to that. Now, right next to that, we have a square. So number 1 was a rectangle, and now we are looking at a square. We did the square on the board together. Who can remember how many sides does the square have? How many sides does the square have? If you don't remember, count the sides on your square on your page. How many sides does that square have? Everyone take a minute to think about it. Yes, Mohammed?
I know it.
Okay, well, I didn't call on you, so leave your hand up. I'm giving everybody some time to think. How many sides does that square have? Let's see. Amika, what do you think?
4.
4, right. We did it on the board, remember? This is the same picture. You have 1, 2, 3, 4. To make a perfect square, you have to draw 1, 2, 3, 4 lines. So for number 2, you can write 4. On that first line for number 2, you can write 4. Akil, it looks like you just joined us, honey. We're on page 636 of your math book. Who can tell me how many corners or vertices? How many corners or vertices does that triangle or that square have? How many corners or vertices does it have? Amid, what do you think?
4.
4, yeah. There were 4 corners, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. I like to put dots on them as I count them, so I make sure I have them all. You see how on every single corner I put a dot? That's what I like to do.
Are we gonna do 2 bases? Base 636.
Yep, honey, just listen and you'll find out. So at the bottom there, it asks us a question. It says, how are the rectangle and the square the same? How were the rectangle and the square the same? What did they have in common? How were they alike? How were they the same? Christian, unmute yourself. Christian, press your mute button. I can't hear you. How are they the same, Christian?
They both have 4 lines and they have 4 corners.
Yeah, both the rectangle and the square had 4 sides, just like this, and 4 corners. Yeah, they both have 4 and 4. The only reason they're different is because on a rectangle, 2 of the sides are long and 2 of the sides are short, whereas on a square, all 4 lines are the same size. Good, so I want you guys to try to do page 637 on your own. Go ahead and do this page on your own right now. At the top, the first 4, you're just doing what we just did. It's counting sides and corners. And then you're finding matching shapes. And then circling closed and open shapes. So take about 2, Mohammed, if you already did it, just wait tight. Take about 2 minutes, 2 to 5 minutes, do that on your own, and then we're going to go over it together, okay?
Sebastian.
Yes, Mohammed.
It's too big for both easy.
What, honey?
It's really easy.
Okay, good. I'm glad it's easy for you. Take some time, do that on your own, and then we will go over it together in just a minute.
Sebastian, I'm already done.
Okay, honey, then just wait. Take about 1 more minute and finish up if you haven't already. And then we'll go over the answers together here in just a minute. Give me a thumbs up when you're done. Good. Ziad, what's your question? Yep, do as much as you can and then we'll go over it together. If you don't finish, it's okay because we're going to go over the answers. Do as much as you can. Do as much of it as you can. Take about 20 more seconds.
Sebastian, can I do one more page?
Nope, because we're going to do the next page together, so please wait patiently.
Sebastian,
Yes.
what is the page 9?
We're doing page 637. Okay, so let's look at the first one, number 3. Let's take a look at number 3. Who can tell me how many sides does that shape have? What is the answer to number 3, the very first one? How many sides does that shape have? Lima, how many sides does it have? 4. Good. So on that first line, write 4. And how many vertices does it have? How many corners does it have? How many corners does it have? Tharea. 4. Good. So number 3, you should have 4 and 4. You should have 4 and 4. Now let's take a look at number 4. We have a rectangle there. Number 3 was a circle. Number 4, we have a rectangle. How many sides does that rectangle have? How many sides does it have? Mariah, how many sides does it have?
4.
4 sides. Very good, Mariah. Awesome. How many vertices does it have? How many corners? How many corners? Amid, how many corners? 4. You guys are catching on. So the next two, number 5 and 6, those both give you examples of shapes in real life. Shapes in real life. Number 5 is a checkerboard. Have any of you ever played checkers before? That's a game. That's a board game. So number 5 is a checkered board, and it makes a square. We already know. Who can tell me how many sides and vertices does a square have? How many sides and vertices does a square have? Ronan. What'd you say? Yeah, a square has 4 sides and 4 vertices. And just like we talked about on the last page, how many sides and vertices does a rectangle have? How many does a rectangle have? So number 6 is a rectangle. How many sides and vertices does it have? Mariah?
4.
Yeah. So for the first 4 on that page, for 3, 4, 5, and 6, all of the answers are 4. All of our answers are 4. Because we're looking at rectangles and squares, and all rectangles and all squares have 4 sides and 4 vertices. So now they want us to compare shapes down here. So let's take a look at number 7. Number 7, I see I have a rectangle, and they want us to pick which shape next to that rectangle out of these 3 shapes, which one of those is also a rectangle? So which one of those pictures is also a rectangle? Is it the picture of the dog, the tire, or the dollar bill? Which one matches? Which one matches? Which 2 shapes there look the same to you? Does the rectangle look like the picture frame? Does it look like the tire, or does it look like that dollar bill? Akil, what do you think? The dollar bill, yeah. So for number 7, you can circle that picture of the dollar bill. For number 7, do you see how those are the same? Whoops. You see how this rectangle looks like this dollar bill? They look like the same shape. That's what they wanted you to do there. So now let's take a look at number 8, and we have to decide which shape or which picture is the same shape as that square. Which picture is the same shape as that square? Is it the button? Is it the picture frame, or is it the sign? Which picture is the same shape as that square? Boris, unmute yourself and let us know. You gotta hit your mute button. There you go.
The picture.
Is it the picture frame?
No. The button.
The button, yeah. The picture frame is a little bit different. The picture frame is a little bit different. The picture frame has a little bit longer sides. So for that one, you want to circle that button. That yellow button is the same shape as that square. Good. Okay. Now we are going to take a look at number 9. It wants us to circle all of the closed shapes. So all of the shapes where all 4 sides are touching, we want to circle. So is that first one a closed shape? Give me a thumbs up if it is and a thumbs down if it's not. Is that a closed shape? Are all 4 corners touching? Nope, so we're not going to circle that one. We're not going to circle that one. We're going to leave that one uncircled. What about the next one? Give me a thumbs up if that's a closed shape, and give me a thumbs down if it's not. Does that look like a closed shape to you? Are all 4 sides touching? They are. That is a rectangle, so you can go ahead and circle that rectangle. All 4 corners of that big rectangle are touching. So you can give that one a circle. What about the one next to it? Does it have 4 sides and 4 vertices? Give me a thumbs up for yes and a thumbs down for no. Good. No, it does not. It's missing a side. That side is wide open. Remember up here they showed the pig walking right in? On that one, the pig could walk in. Good. The next one is also open. That one is also open. You can see the top is missing. And then the last 2 you can see are perfect squares. So you can circle those last two. So that's what you should have circled on the bottom. You should have circled 3 shapes in that last one. Good. Akil, do you have a question?
Can we circle the sign?
The sign? No, because that sign's not a perfect square. That edge or the corners are kind of rounded. The corners are kind of round, so we're just gonna stick with that button. Yes, I'm Boris.
Are we doing our name?
Nope, you don't have to put your name on this one. Okay, go ahead and flip your page so you're on the back of that one, and we're gonna do these two together. Flip your page so you're on the back, and we'll do those two together. We'll do those last two together. Good, so at the top of page 638, I am going to read to us. It says, I am a 2-dimensional shape that has 4 vertices. So I know I have 4 corners. And all of my sides are the same length. So I'm going to draw 4 lines that are all the same length and have 4 vertices. What shape is that? What shape is that? Mariah, what shape is that?
A square.
A square. It can only be a square if all of the sides are the same length, and they are. So we are going to write square. S-Q-U-A-R-E. You don't have to draw the square if you don't want to, but on that line, write the word square. S-Q-U-A-R-E. Square. Good. Mariah's done. I see Maram giving me a thumbs up. Amid's giving me a thumbs up. Looks like Mabuba's got it. Good. What, Isabella? I can't hear you. You're muted, honey. You gotta unmute yourself.
But how about before we went to this one, the other one looked like a square on page 8.
Well, we're gonna talk about that right now. Okay, so just hang tight. So that was a square. All of the sides on the square are the same length. If you put all of those lines next to each other, they would be the same size. Number 11, right underneath that, says, I am a 2-dimensional shape that has 4 sides. 2 of my sides are long, so I'm going to draw 2 long lines, and 2 of my sides are short. What shape is that? Who can raise their hand and tell me? What shape is that? Christian, what shape is that?
Rectangle.
A rectangle. Isabella, the difference between the two is that a square has all the same, like all the sides are the same length, and a rectangle has 2 long lines and 2 short lines. So now I'm going to write the word rectangle on that line. Rectangle. It's kind of a long word, but you can go ahead and copy it down. R-E-C-T-A-N-G-L-E. Rectangle. 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 Does everyone have that copied down?
I'm not done.
Okay. Well, I gotta run upstairs and get my laptop charger, so give me just a second. Otherwise, I'm gonna lose y'all. Give me just a second, y'all. Ugh. Okay. There we go. All right, so does everyone have that copied down?
Mr. Busky,
What?
is it your room?
Yes, now I'm in my room. My phone chargers, or my laptop was about to die. All right, so everyone should have that copied down, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, so your homework that you need to do is the next page. Page 639 and 640.
Mr. Busky, I'm not done.
This is your, okay, I'm sorry. That's your homework page, okay? So that will be due on Thursday morning. Please make sure you're turning in your homework because I have to...
I'm still done.
Okay, honey. Please make sure you're turning in your homework because I have to give you a grade for that homework.
Mr. Busky, what is a grade?
A grade, that's like an A, a B, a C, a D. So I have to check that you're doing your homework. And progress reports are going home on Friday. So make sure you're doing your homework so I can check that you did it.
Mr. Busky?
Yes.
Did I send you my homework?
Yep, I got yours.
Class Dojo.
Yep, I saw it.
That you got?
Mariah, what's your question?
We have to close our book.
Yep, you can close your book if you're done. Just make sure you do your homework, okay, honey? What? What, Mohammed?